In the early days of Formula One, the cars were fast, the crowds were massive, but safety? Almost non-existent. One accident was so brutal, so historic, that the sport had no choice but to change forever. This is the story of the crash that rewrote F1 safety rules. Today, F1 has medical cars, trackside doctors, fire-resistant suits, halo protection, high-tech emergency response. But in the 1950s and 60s, racing was closer to chaos than a sport. No organized medical teams, no rescue protocols, fragile helmets, and circuits designed for entertainment, not survival. And then one moment proved enough was enough. The year was 1955, during the 24 Hours of Le Mans, not an F1 race, but motorsport event that deeply shook the entire racing world and directly impacted F1 regulations soon after. A driver lost control at high speed and crashed into the track barriers. The car launched into the air like a missile and exploded over the crowd. Debris, engine parts, hood metal, and tires rained down like shrapnel. There were no catch fences, no emergency evacuation plan, and no real medical response system ready for something on that scale. Spectators ran onto the track to help. Firefighters arrived late. Doctors improvised without equipment. It was a disaster broadcast across the world. More than 80 people died that day. It remains one of the deadliest accidents in motorsport history. And even though Le Mans wasn't Formula One itself, governments, engineers, teams, and race organizers began pointing fingers at all high-speed racing, especially F1, questioning the cars, the circuits, the speeds, the lack of protection. F1 suddenly looked unsafe, not only for drivers, but for entire nations hosting races. The accident triggered immediate global consequences. Several countries banned motorsport events temporarily. Tracks were redesigned with spectator protection in mind. Fire safety became mandatory. Crash barriers were improved. Helmets and driver gear evolved quickly. Medical support started shifting from improvisation to obligation. And decades later, these movements eventually inspired even bigger protections like safety cars, improved cockpits, and the halo system. It became the real fastest evolution in F1 history. Speed built Formula One, but tragedy taught it how to survive. And one terrible day in 1955 reminded the world, motor racing can be a dream or a nightmare. This was I Still Don't Know. If you enjoy uncovering the stories behind history's biggest moments, subscribe, because there's always more you don't know.